If you tell the American people that this person needs to be eliminated, most of them, thank God, are going to ignore you, but some crazy person is going to take matters into their own hands and actually listen to the crazy rhetoric that you're putting out there. And I know it's popular on a lot of corners of the left to say that we have a both sides problem. And I'm not going to say we're always perfect. I'm not going to say that conservatives always get things exactly right. But you know the big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and two people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out. Somebody's going to get hurt by it.
This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. Have Donald Trump, the Republican Party, MAGA, and even Elon Musk sunk so low that they're now calling for some crazy, unwell person or one of their followers to do violence against Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, to make up for, to make good for, to be an equalizer about the two events that happened to Donald Trump, one in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the other one near his golf course in West Palm Beach in the last month? Is that what we're at? Is that where we're at now? Elon Musk is being investigated by the Secret Service because of a posting that he made about that seems to suggest just that. Here's the posting that he took down. He said, and no one is even trying to assassinate Biden/Kamala Harris. A post he ended with an emoji of a face with a raised eyebrow. So he's asking for someone to take up his call and to try to assassinate Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. That's where we're at. J.D. Vance said at a recent press conference that the only difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is that it's only the Republican candidate who's being the target of an assassination attempt. ... I mean, I don't know what is how else to interpret, and neither does the Secret Service apparently, what Elon Musk posted and what J.D. Vance just said. I mean, they will have blood on their hands if they're calling for one of their people to try to make good on this. When you hear J.D. Vance say, you know what the big difference between the parties is? One party got shot at and the other party didn't. What will that do to an unwell, crazed person who has free access to an AK-47 or AR-15 or a handgun or something else? I just got a command from my future commander-in-chief and cult leader that I need to go do this, right? Same thing with Elon Musk. I mean, talk about how irresponsible and callous Elon Musk is, who can just blithely, with his fingers, post something that could launch 1,000 crazies. I mean, for him to say to his 200 million followers that, and no one is even trying to assassinate Biden, Kamala. I mean, what does he think? What did he think? He's a smart guy. He's an evil genius. I don't like him, but he's not intelligent. And he knew what that was going to do. He even went too far for Elon Musk, and he took it down too late. Secret Service caught it. It was referred to the Secret Service, and they should and will investigate Elon Musk. And then J.D. Vance doubles down on it. Let's have equality in the parties. Assassination attempts for everyone. Is that where we're at? Look, Joe Biden did the right thing as our president, as the leader of the free world, as the head of the bully pulpit. He picked up the phone. He made a phone call to Donald Trump. Even Donald Trump had to acknowledge that it was a nice and pleasant phone call from Joe Biden. There is no place for violence in our political system. There is no place for the taking out of candidates. That's not the way we win. We don't win there. We win at the ballot box, right? Not the ammo box. And there is no Democrat, moderate, liberal, anywhere on the spectrum of Democrats, any color of the rainbow, that believes that Donald Trump should be taken out. No one. No one would call for that. Nobody would want that. This nation would grieve, not necessarily because of the person, but because of the institution of the person running for the presidency had been fatally felled by a gunman. Nobody wants that. Nobody's calling for that. The Secret Service needs to be revamped under President Kamala Harris and before. They had to admit again, the Secret Service had to admit again that they had holes in their security plan. Now, they tried to blame the fact, well, he's only the candidate, and therefore we don't have the resources we would have if he was president. Now, that's an excuse. All they have to do is properly coordinate with the Sheriff's Department in Palm Beach County, Florida. And I've worked with that Sheriff's Department in the past when I was down in Florida. I know them well. They're a very good professional group with SWAT team and anti-sniper divisions and personnel. They're ready to go. So you coordinate with the Sheriff's Department, with the Secret Service that's been beefed up since Butler, Pennsylvania, and you do the basics, which is you have to sweep the perimeter of the golf course. Everybody knows that Donald Trump goes to his golf course. This wasn't like some weird rando place that he went. This is like one of his home away from homes. And how they don't, with dogs sniffing, bomb sniffing dogs, and a combination of West Palm Beach police, Metro police, county police, county sheriffs, and the Secret Service personnel, along with technology, drones. Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Z-Biotics your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Now look, I won't lie. I was a bit on the fence about pre-alcohol initially. But then, while hanging out with my fantasy football draft crew over at our favorite Jersey Shore sports bar, I gave it a shot. And believe me, it's the real deal. I spent the entire next day doing all my favorite things with my family, including a long hike on our favorite trail. I kept hearing about pre-alcohol, and I wondered what it was actually like. But now that I've tried it, I believe the hype. And with their GMO technology, they will release different products that help address toxic byproducts of modern living in the gut. Go to zbiotics.com/legalaf to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use LegalAF at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/legalaf and use the code legalaf at checkout for 15% off. Okay? Every kid in my neighborhood has a drone and an electric bike. We can't put those two things together and sweep the entire golf course. Failing of the Secret Service and the acting Secret Service chief who should turn in his badge. I don't know what we need. We likely need somebody out of our military, current active duty, to be pressed into duty to head up the Secret Service. We need somebody who knows how to plan on a battlefield and to protect major assets. That's not happening. But the response to that, I waited a couple of days to talk about what happened in West Palm Beach on the golf course because I wanted to see what the Republican response was going to be. Maybe they would surprise me. Maybe Tim Scott wouldn't say and suggest that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris were hiding in the bush with the gun, or the Democrats are responsible, or that now we hear Donald Trump say the heated rhetoric of the Democrats is the reason he's targeted. I mean, let's talk about Orwellian, gaslighting. It's our rhetoric because we talk about him being a threat to democracy. That's not my language. That's the language of 200 Republican leaders former people that worked in White Houses for Republican presidents, judges, constitutionalists. That's conservatives. That's not the Democrats. And it's true anyway. And it doesn't cause somebody to pick up arms against Donald Trump. But when he talks about the other and the hordes and the replacement theory of whites being replaced by immigrants, and points to the poor Haitian community, the poor, proud Haitian community invited into Ohio by the civic leaders and the business leaders of Ohio to take jobs that had disappeared, to take, to go on the assembly lines in these factories because no American was doing it. Right? Killing two birds with one stone, right? Helping a group of downtrodden Haitians that needed the money to help their people back in Haiti, and manufacturing for the American economy. Sounds perfect. Not to Donald Trump. They're the other, they're the foreigner, they're the horde, they're the replacement of the white people. They're the way the Democrats win elections. Go after them, charge. Was it the Democrat violent rhetoric or Donald Trump's that led to Jan 6th, I posit, when he gave his exhortive speech at the Ellipse? He wound them up, fomented them, got them frothing at the mouth, armed, knowing they're armed, and then pointed them at the Capitol. Who was that? That was the Democrats? Come on. This is not a moment to blame. I know conspiracy theories popped up when Kennedy was shot and assassinated, JFK. But we didn't point the fingers at the Republicans. Oh, the Republicans! We pointed the fingers at the organized crime. We pointed the fingers at Fidel Castro, but we didn't point the fingers at the Republicans, the other party. Right? When Lincoln was assassinated, they didn't say the Democrats did it. It was the Democrats. Maybe it was the policies and the comments made by Abraham Lincoln that got a crazed John Wilkes Booth to try to take him out. Maybe it was that. Pull together as a people. Nobody wants a candidate for president to have his head blown off. And nobody's suggesting it. That's why in a moment when, Trump and Biden could talk, it wasn't about the politics. I'm sure Trump didn't blame the Democrats on the phone call with Joe Biden, but he does it on the campaign trail. And J.D. Vance, who's barely out of diapers, the fake hillbilly, trying to communicate with the American people, suggesting, well, that's the big difference. Why don't we see if we can do something about it? That's always the implication. And then Elon Musk, just right on the nose, says it. And now he's going to be investigated. A threat against a public official, a federal official, somebody at the level of the president or the vice president. That's a job for the Secret Service. They're good at investigating. Two best investigators out there besides the FBI, postal inspectors, I'd say three, Homeland Security and the FBI and the Secret Service. And they're going to have to, Elon Musk's going to have a lot of explaining to do. He likes to take on the government. He likes to find out what the limits of First Amendment speech are. He's about to. We'll continue to follow it all on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Serious. It's serious. And I want to see heads roll at the Secret Service. The acting chief needs to go. They need to put somebody better in that position. I agree with that because my fear is not the failed attempt in West Palm Beach. It's a successful attempt against Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So, and the same Secret Service, because she's just a candidate and not the president, is that going to be the story? When they fail to sweep the perimeter, use drones, use technology, amplify their efforts, bring in the local law enforcement? Is that what's going to happen? I want Kamala Harris to have a director of security, independent from the Secret Service, in her retinue, in her entourage. And I want that person to be a liaison between her campaign, the office of the vice president, the Secret Service, and local law enforcement wherever she goes. That's my POPOC plan. That's what I'd like to see happen like yesterday, especially after what just happened in West Palm Beach. We'll continue to follow it all on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. We sit at the intersection of law and politics at that critical crossroads so you don't have to. Find out what 40 million people already know every month. that Legal AF is the home of law and politics commentary and analysis like no other on YouTube. I defy you to find a program as comprehensive and insightful as Legal AF. Join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the MeidasTouch Network, and then on audio podcast platforms of your choice. On Wednesdays, I do the show with Karen Freeman at Knifilo. On Saturdays with Ben Meiselas, and on hot takes like this about every day, sometimes every hour, on the MeidasTouch Network. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popak reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know, and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.